Space Exploration Technologies Corp., doing business as SpaceX, is a private American aerospace manufacturer and space transportation services company, headquartered in Hawthorne, California. It was founded in 2002 by entrepreneur Elon Musk, with the goal of reducing space transportation costs and enabling the colonization of Mars. SpaceX has since developed the Falcon launch vehicle family and the Dragon spacecraft family, which both currently deliver payloads into Earth orbit. In 2001, Elon Musk conceptualized Mars Oasis, a project to land a miniature experimental greenhouse and grow plants on Mars. This would be the furthest that life's ever traveled, in an attempt to regain public interest in space exploration and increase the budget of NASA. Musk calculated that the raw materials for building a rocket actually were only 3% of the sales price of a rocket at the time. By applying vertical integration, producing around 85% of launch hardware in-house, and the modular approach from software engineering, SpaceX could cut launch price by a factor of 10 and still enjoy a 70% gross margin. In early 2002, Musk was seeking staff for his new space company, soon to be named SpaceX. Musk approached rocket engineer Tom Mueller, later SpaceX's CTO of propulsion, and Mueller agreed to work for Musk, and thus SpaceX was born. SpaceX was first headquartered in a warehouse in El Segundo, California. The company has grown rapidly since it was founded in 2002, from 160 employees in November 2005 to about 6,000 in April 2017. As of November 2017, the company had grown to nearly 7,000. As of March 2018, SpaceX had over 100 launches on its manifest, representing about $12 billion in contract revenue. The contracts included both commercial and government, NASA/DoD customers. Goals of SpaceX. Musk has stated that one of his goals is to decrease the cost and improve the reliability of access to space, ultimately by a factor of 10. CEO Elon Musk said, "I believe $500 per pound or less is very achievable." A major goal of SpaceX has been to develop a rapidly reusable launch system. As of March 2013, the publicly announced aspects of this technology development effort include an active test campaign of the low-altitude, low-speed Grasshopper vertical takeoff, vertical landing, VTVL technology, demonstrator rocket, and a high-altitude, high-speed Falcon 9 post-mission booster return test campaign. In 2015, SpaceX successfully landed the first orbital rocket stage on December 21st. To date, SpaceX has successfully landed 25 boosters, 23 Falcon 9 and 5 Falcon Heavy. 2 years later, SpaceX formed a subsidiary, The Boring Company, and began work to construct a short underground test tunnel on and adjacent to the SpaceX headquarters and manufacturing facility, utilizing a small number of SpaceX employees, which was completed in May 2018 and opened to the public in December of that year. At the 2017 International Astronautical Congress in Adelaide, Australia, Musk announced his plans to build large spaceships to reach Mars. Using the BFR, Musk plans to land at least 2 uncrewed cargo ships to Mars in 2022. The first missions will be used to seek out sources of water and build a propellant plant. In 2024, Musk plans to fly 4 additional ships to Mars, including the first people. From there, additional missions would work to establish a Mars colony. Ownership, funding, and valuation. In August 2008, SpaceX accepted a $20 million investment from Founders Fund. In early 2012, approximately 2/3 of the company were owned by its founder, and his 70 million shares were then estimated to be worth $875 million on private markets, which roughly valued SpaceX at $1.3 billion as of February 2012. After the COTS-2 Plus flight in May 2012, the company private equity valuation nearly doubled to $2.4 billion. In January 2015, SpaceX raised $1 billion in funding from Google and Fidelity in exchange for 8.333% of the company, establishing the company valuation at approximately $12 billion. Google and Fidelity joined prior investors Draper Fisher Jurvetson, Founders Fund, Valor Equity Partners, and Capricorn. In July 2017, the company raised US $350 million at valuation of US $21 billion and was raising another $500 million in funding in April 2019. A month later, Space News reported SpaceX raised $1.022 billion, the day after SpaceX launched 60 satellites towards their 12,000 satellite plan, named Starlink Broadband Constellation. As of May 31, 2019, the value of SpaceX has risen to $33.3 billion. Research and development of SpaceX. SpaceX is actively pursuing several different research and development programs. Most notable are those intended to develop reusable launch vehicles, an interplanetary transport system, and a global telecommunications network. SpaceX has on occasion developed new engineering development technologies to enable it to pursue its various goals. SpaceX's reusable launcher program was publicly announced in 2011, and the design phase was completed in February 2012. The system returns the first stage of a Falcon 9 rocket to a predetermined landing site, using only its own propulsion systems. High-velocity, high-altitude aspects of the booster atmospheric return technology began testing in late 2013 and have continued through 2018, with a 98% success rate to date. SpaceX first achieved a successful landing and recovery of a first stage in December 2015, and in April 2016, the first stage booster first successfully landed on the ASDS Of Course I Still Love You. SpaceX continues to carry out first stage landings on every orbital launch that fuel margins allow. By October 2016, following the successful landings, SpaceX indicated they were offering their customers a 10% price discount if they choose to fly their payload on a reused Falcon 9 first stage. On March 30, 2017, SpaceX launched a flight-proven Falcon 9 for the SES-10 mission. This was the first time a relaunch of a payload-carrying orbital rocket went back to space. The first stage was recovered and landed on the ASDS Of Course I Still Love You in the Atlantic Ocean, also making it the first landing of a reused orbital-class rocket. Elon Musk called the achievement an incredible milestone in the history of space. SpaceX is developing a Super Heavy Lift Launch System, the BFR. The BFR is a fully reusable first-stage launch vehicle and spacecraft, intended to replace all of the company's existing hardware by the early 2020s. Ground infrastructure for rapid launch and relaunch, and zero-gravity propellant transfer technology in low Earth orbit, LEO. Musk's long-term vision for the company is the development of technology and resources suitable for human colonization on Mars. He has expressed his interest in someday traveling to the planet, stating, "I'd like to die on Mars, just not on impact." A rocket every 2 years or so could provide a base for the people arriving in 2025, after a launch in 2024. According to Steve Jurvetson, Musk believed that by 2035 at the latest, there will be thousands of rockets flying 1 million people to Mars in order to enable a self-sustaining human colony. Infrastructure of SpaceX. SpaceX is headquartered in Hawthorne, California, which also serves as its primary manufacturing plant. The company owns a site in Texas and operates 3 launch sites, with another under development. SpaceX also operates regional offices in Redmond, Texas, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. The large 3-story facility, originally built by Northrop Corporation to build Boeing 747 fuselages, houses SpaceX office space, mission control, and as of 2018, all vehicle manufacturing. The company has leased an 18-acre site near Berth 240 in the Los Angeles port for 10 years, with multiple renewals possible, and will use the site for manufacturing, recovery from shipborne landings, and refurbishment of both the BFR booster and the BFR spaceship. SpaceX builds its rocket engines, rocket stages, spacecraft, principal avionics, and all software in-house in their Hawthorne facility, which is unusual for the aerospace industry. Nevertheless, SpaceX still has over 3,000 suppliers, with some 1,100 of those delivering to SpaceX nearly weekly. In June 2017, SpaceX announced they would construct a facility on 0.88 hectares, 2.17 acres, in Port Canaveral, Florida, for refurbishment and storage of previously flown Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy booster cores. Achievements of SpaceX. Landmark achievements of SpaceX include Falcon 1 Flight 4 on September 28, 2008, the first privately funded liquid-fueled rocket to reach orbit. Razak SAT on Falcon 1 Flight 5 on July 14, 2009, the first privately developed liquid-fueled rocket to put a commercial satellite in orbit. Dragon capsule on COTS Demo Flight 1 on December 9, 2010, the first private company to successfully launch, orbit, and recover a spacecraft. Dragon C2 Plus on May 25, 2012, the first private company to send a spacecraft to the International Space Station. SES-8 on Falcon 9 Flight 7 on December 3, 2013, the first private company to send a satellite into geosynchronous orbit. Falcon 9 Flight 20 on December 22, 2015, the first landing of an orbital rocket's first stage on land. Falcon 9 Flight 23 on April 8, 2016. The first landing of an orbital rocket's first stage on an ocean platform. B-1021 on Falcon 9 Flight 32 on March 30, 2017. The first relaunch and landing of a used orbital rocket stage. Falcon 9 Flight 32 on March 30, 2017. The first controlled flyback and recovery of a payload fairing. Dragon C-106 on CRS-11 mission on June 3, 2017. The first reflight of a commercial cargo spacecraft. Crew Dragon Demo 1 mission on March 2, 2019. The first private company to send a human-rated spacecraft to space. SpaceX Flight 72 on Falcon 9 Flight 69 on March 3, 2019. The first private company to autonomously dock a spacecraft to the International Space Station. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.